the Kanpur police has got some serious answering to do here, isn't it?
Well, yes, indeed. These are some
Yes.
questions that are being raised, that if Shivam Mishra could have been arrested, then why not earlier? Why not, there has to be a rigorous campaign by the media. There has to be a rigorous campaign on the social media, after which Kanpur police, in fact, came into the pressure and, in fact, included his name in the FIR. Let's just remind you that on the very first day, FIR was registered late, and then Shivam Mishra's name was not included. We saw that there was VVIP treatment given to the, Shivam Mishra and his bouncers. After, this news made national headlines, then only the Kanpur police, in fact, changed their stand and, in fact, took action against Shivam Mishra and his associates. Now, what we are learning is that 5 teams were made, which, in fact, did searches in the Kanpur premises and also in the Delhi premises of Shivam Mishra's, which included his home and also the hospital, which, in fact, claimed by Shivam Mishra's father that he was admitted there. After which he has been arrested from Kanpur, which has been told by Kanpur police to India Today, and in some time he'll be presented in the court, and the custody will be sought. Now it remains to be seen that whether the custody will be given, but a report has been given in which the CCTV videos and other videos of the incident, from the accident, and have been included in the particular report which is submitted towards the court. Now it remains to be seen on the side of the court that whether the custody of Shivam Mishra will be provided or not. But yes, there have been several questions raised that if he can be arrested now, that he could have been arrested earlier also. Remember that no medical was done for more than 48 hours, now 72 hours, that no medical has been done. So that has been the missing link in police report, because when they'll be presenting their facts in the court, in fact will ask that whether the medical checkup was done, and if it was done, then the report should be included in this very particular application. And in that case, it's in all likelihood, court might take an action of rejecting police application and police application for the custody. So all eyes are on the court. It's their jurisdiction now to give the custody to the police. Now we'll have to wait and watch to see that whether he walks free from the court or he's still in the custody of the police or judicial when the court hearing ends.
End of the day, we have an arrest. 4 days later, after this crash takes place, the boy also has a joyride to Delhi, comes back to Kanpur. Father says was so unwell, we had to, in fact, take him to Delhi. He's now come back to Kanpur, and the Kanpur police decided to go pick him up, arrest him. But the fact of the matter is that they never did so in so many days. What stopped them? The police has got some serious answering to do here. This is a big India Today impact that we're telling of, but this case is not watertight, unfortunately, and we'll be telling you why in just a bit from now. But first, a little about why this becomes extremely important. India Today has been on top of this story from the day this crash happened, and the moment actually this crash happened. Lawless drive of the VVIP Brat has finally ended. Save Brat bid that we had seen from day one. Name missing in the FIR, basics not taken care of. India Today foiled this. We reported on this relentlessly, asked the police why his name had not figured in the FIR. Finally, it did. Then, Shivam's alcohol test was not done. India Today also foiled that move. Family tried to make the driver, called Mohan, a scapegoat. Also, bouncers were seen removing the Lamborghini number plate in the videos that was thankfully shot at that point in time. We relentlessly put the spotlight on that. Finally, Shivam Mishra is arrested, albeit a diluted case, not a watertight case at all, but he has now been arrested. This is the Kanpur Lamborghini horror that we're reporting on. Finally, Shivam Mishra, the man who was driving that Lamborghini car, behind the wheels. Now, whatever his father, whatever the bouncers can claim, they have to, the lawyers also. But the fact is that he was indeed behind the wheels of that car. You can see that in these pictures that were shot at the very moment this crash took place. An attempt to save this man. His name was, like I said, initially missing in the FIR. So that's a basic step that should have been ensured, that wasn't really done. Also, his name, like I said, missing in the FIR. Shivam's alcohol test was also not done here. Family tried to make a driver called Mohan a scapegoat here, saying that there was some problem with the driver. He was not doing okay, and that's how he went and he crashed the car. Shivam was actually sitting next to him, is what the father had said. We foiled that attempt as well. Bouncers who had in fact pulled Shivam out of the driver's seat were also in the same images seen removing the number plate of the Lamborghini car. So all of this was being done to protect this man who now has been arrested. We have the first images and we'll be putting that out in a moment once again of this man, Shivam Mishra, who's been arrested by the Kanpur police. But they have got some serious answering to do on why they did not arrest him earlier when they knew, and they did say that he indeed was behind the wheel of the car. Why couldn't they arrest him? Why not name him in the FIR? Why were basics like an alcohol test not done on Shivam Mishra? Now there is no way to establish, if at all, this is a case of drunken driving. How are you going to establish is the big question here. First images of Shivam Mishra on your screens at this point in time. Take a look at these images. As far as Shivam Mishra is concerned, he's now been arrested. As per protocol, he's going to be produced before the court as well. But there is a possibility that he might get relief. At the end of the day, the pedestrians thankfully nobody was grievously hurt or has died in that accident, but pedestrians were hit. There is a possibility that he might get away with a bail as well, since there is no way to prove that this was a case of drunken driving or not. A lengthy process will follow now with the Kanpur police. Hopefully we'll have to answer those questions on why no attempt was being made to in fact do an alcohol test. We'll put out those images of the bouncers trying to remove the number plate of the Lamborghini car as well. So all that was being done to protect this VVIP Brat, Shivam Mishra, his Lamborghini car went and crashed against 6 pedestrians and against other cars, putting the spotlight on this man who would have gotten away for sure had we not in fact put the spotlight and spoken relentlessly about an attempt to cover up from the word go. Shivam Mishra being protected by his father, by the bouncers, by the Kanpur police and the lawyers, everybody coming together to cook some story or the other just to try and say that he was not behind the wheels. But so many statements were given. The bouncers first said that he had a mini heart attack, some sort of a seizure, and that's why the crash happened. Father said, listen, he was okay. He was not even driving. So 2 different statements that were given. Why did they send him away to Delhi when medical facilities can be given or availed of in Kanpur city as well? Was that not an attempt to cover up? Why did the Kanpur police allow him to go to Delhi? Then they sat nicely in Kanpur waiting for him to come back. They've actually given a statement. As soon as we got to know that he's back in Kanpur, we arrested him. Why couldn't they arrest him from Delhi? Also, the very fact that an alcohol test was not done on this man. Imagine what would have happened if an alcohol test was done. And indeed, as per law, if everything had been followed to the T, perhaps there would have been a watertight case against the VVIP Brat who was on his Lamborghini car drunk on power, thinking that he can run over anybody he wishes to and get away. Shivam Mishra now stands arrested. This has been India Today's relentless campaign. We have been putting the spotlight on Shivam Mishra and the manner in which there have been not one but several attempts that were made to cover up this crime. 6 pedestrians had been hit. Several cars had been hit by his Lamborghini, and now he's arrested 4 days later after this took place. No name in the FIR. That's the big question here. Why was there no name in the FIR? Bouncers were trying to remove the number plate. If this was indeed an accident and Shivam was indeed behind the wheels and he had a seizure, then why make an attempt to cover up? Because if it's a medical emergency of a driver, then there would be relief to him, like was indicated by Kiran Bedi. But they tried to remove the number plate. First, they said he had some sort of a mini heart attack, a seizure. And then the father goes on to say that he was not even behind the wheels. Our driver Mohan was. The VVIP Brat finally has been arrested. But the fact is that there were several attempts to ensure that he gets away. India Today has been relentlessly putting the spotlight on this incident from Kanpur 4 days ago. Shivam Mishra on your screens at this point in time, who was in fact pulled away by the bouncers. Father has the audacity to say he was not even behind the wheels. Our driver Mohan was. The fact is that he now has been arrested after we put the spotlight. He would have never been arrested had India Today not relentlessly questioned the Kanpur police here. I'm going to go across to Simar for more on that. Simar, what next for this man? He's going to be produced in a court of law. I'm thinking there would be a possible bail as well.
Well, yes, right now, when we are talking, he is being presented in the court right now. He is waiting for the judge to arrive and the hearing to resume. But what information that has been given to us is that he has been arrested on the charges of evading the questioning, evading the summons, and also on the non-cooperation. So that's what Kanpur police is going to tell the court in this very particular report after they seek custody of Shivam Mishra in this very particular matter. He has been arrested from Kanpur, that's for sure. 5 teams are already made to nab him, which in fact made searches in different parts of Kanpur and Delhi. And after which he has been arrested from Kanpur. That has been the argument given by Kanpur police in the court. All eyes on court, whether they'll go with the, giving the custody of Shivam Mishra to the police or send him to judicial custody, or just reject the application of the Kanpur police straight away, because that's also a possibility, because the medical has not been done yet. And after the incident, he in fact flew away from the spot. That's why the medical couldn't be done, which is not included in the police report. So that has been the main reason and the worry, reason for worry for the police, that whether due to that lapse, whether Kanpur court will in fact give custody to Shivam Mishra or not.
Okay, but several questions that the police has to answer at this point in time as far as this man on your screens is concerned. But what has happened so far in this case and the attempts that the VVIP Brat is going to make to try and escape the law even after his arrest? Let's tell you about that. Remember, no blood alcohol test was done. What was the Kanpur police doing? Why couldn't they do it at the very moment when this accident happened? Tinted glass was there in the Lamborghini car. Very difficult to establish then that it was indeed him behind the wheels. So the videos clearly show that he was the one being pulled out of the driver's seat there. Not an iota of doubt about that. The driver claims he was driving. Mohan is the man. He comes out and says, listen, I was driving. Perhaps has been pressurized. Family cited an epileptic seizure. Family said there's a seizure. The bodyguards went on to say there is a mini heart attack of sorts as well. This is something that they can talk about, saying that even if it is established that he was behind the wheels, he had some sort of a medical condition, and that's the reason why this accident happened. Then, big chance he will get away because you've not been able to establish a case of drunken driving, which perhaps was the case.